Hello, and welcome to another edition of Go Pickleball. In this first segment, we will feature Vicki Winn and the 4.0 drillers in improving your skills through advanced drills. Vicki will also share an experience she and two other of our ladies had with a 1-hour training session with Chase Rignon. Our second segment will feature Vicki and her husband Ken, who recently provided the folks in West Feliciana with a morning of pickleball instruction. Judging from the group's reaction and the feedback, all agreed that Ken and Vicki really gave the group some meaningful pointers on the game of pickleball. As always, please like and subscribe to my channel. And now here's Vicki with improving skills through advanced drills.
Good morning, everybody. First and foremost, I feel terrible because last week I didn't say this, but I want to say welcome back, you two. Welcome back. And I hope those knees are doing much, much better. And stay safe. That's the most important thing on the court. Stay safe. Janice and Diane and I were extremely fortunate enough to win an auction item that we got to go have an hour lesson with Chase Rigdon and Zachary on Friday. And he said our minds were going to be blown, and I think our minds were blown. So we're going to maybe do things a little bit differently today than I normally do, the sequence of things. What we're going to do is we're going to get started with something. We're going to come back together. I'm going to talk about what he talked about in that zone or in that area and the suggestions that he made for us to improve our game, things to watch out for in that area. But I want us to continue to get warmed up because I want us right now in our warm up to challenge ourselves to get it as many times as you can in the target. Keep it going in the target, in the target. We're just going to go forward. And then what we'll do is we'll do cross court. We may move those targets in a little bit closer, you know, adjust them a little bit to what feels comfortable. But the whole idea is to have that control that you can put that ball right back. It's and again, your positioning, your paddle being down low is going to make a big difference for you. Ken always loves to bring it up as it's almost like catching the ball and then throwing it right back. And so a lot of times it's practicing those things that help you be able to place that ball back in the target over and over and over again. The more you do it, the easier it will get, the more consistent you get. And his other favorite thing is accuracy and consistency will beat out power any day. Okay, so one of the things that Chase went over with us, which was kind of interesting, was the short hop. Most of us know what the short hop is, but just in case you don't, it is when you take the ball right after it bounces. They call it a short hop because it hasn't had its full bounce. You're not hitting it at the apex or when it's on its way down. You're hitting it right after it hit the ground. That is actually what you do to offset somebody who's putting a ton of spin on the ball. And most of the time I got told to use that, especially on a serve, when somebody has a killer spin serve and it's bouncing and sliding and there's not a whole lot to do that you can do with it. So if you wait too long, you don't have a whole lot of room to pick it up. If you just take it off of that short bounce, you're going to have much more success with it. But I had never heard anybody before say use it in the kitchen. Interesting thing is when I started doing it, I was like, oh, I do that sometimes, especially with my backhand. I do that. I just take it when it's. So he said, absolutely focus on that. When you know that ball, it's now getting to be a more aggressive dink battle, take it off that short bounce. It's you're giving your opponent less time to be able to figure out what to do with it. And a lot of times they're not expecting it to come back either because they just think they just did this great move and this great aggressive shot. And so it could be a real surprise to somebody. So there's times when you're going to want to do it when you're jammed and you're feeling it come to you more aggressively, as opposed to backing up, which is what a lot of us do on those harder shots. And sometimes you feel like you're buying yourself a little minute by doing that step back, which you do sometimes. but when it's coming really hard at you, try to put this in practice. So we're going to do a little exercise, but I'm going to explain one more thing first. And that way, what we can do is try to incorporate both things while we're playing out points at the net. The other thing that he suggested was when you're in a aggressive dink battle, throw in what they call a dead dink. And so again, we're going to be in an aggressive, more aggressive battle. Well, I'll just keep it coming aggressively. So I'm going to do a dead dink, which that one was a little bit too high and too far back. But what you're doing is as long as you are set, you are throwing back in a dead dink because you know they're going to come pretty aggressively at it. And I'm ready for it. So it's kind of like I'm setting myself up by slowing it down, throwing the dead dink. You know they're coming hard at you, but you have to be ready for it. Now, he said it is a little bit risky, but he's learning to do it better and better and better all the time. See how I was ready for it? That was just a dead dink. I'm in position and I'm ready for it. So I went a little more aggressively at her. She sent it back to me. Well, she went a little more aggressively. I dead dink. She goes more aggressive, and then I can go really aggressive back. Here's another thing that he talked about a lot. And we're going to do some rolls and everything eventually. But I want to make sure to say it right now because we're going to be playing at this position. He really focused on, I know we've done it a lot ourselves and talked about the majority of what you take is backhands. He even brought out the fact that the person over here, for sure, when the ball's coming cross court, whatever else, if you can take an extra step, and rather than taking the ball with your forehand, he said he would much rather you take it with your backhand. So you have to be moving in order to do that. Get yourself in position and stable, and then take the backhand. But at the net, he wants you really focusing on majority backhands. Okay? So what we're going to do is we'll rotate one around if you remember where you are. We're going to play out some points. We're going to do courtesy, dinks, and kind of play it out. But I'd like to see, again, if you're going really aggressive, use the short bounce and practice it. If, again, you've got aggressive, every now and then throw in a dead dink and see if you can't get that ball coming back at you hard enough that all you have to do is block and put it away.
Here's Ken and Vicki at West Feliciana.
So we know the 2-bounce rule. The serve has the bounce. The return of serve has the bounce. I already have my partner up at the no volley zone. So I want to return deep because I want to keep them back and give myself time to get up to the no volley zone. We control the rally at this point with us both here. Now, in a return to serve, you want to be in a good athletic stance, because if you've got a server who's moving you around, you want to be able to be ready to take a wide serve, to take a down the line serve, even to take a short serve. So you want to be in a ready position, a good athletic stance. You want to shoot for a deep serve, and preferably right where this yellow marker is. That's an ideal spot, right down the center.
Why? For return, yeah.
It creates confusion. Unless you have two experienced partners who know who's taking a ball down the center. If you have in rec play, we mix and match and play. And so, oh, I thought you were getting the ones down the line. You had the forehand there. Well, I thought you were going to get it. So down the line is an excellent place. That's really your number one place to return a serve, deep and down the middle. Secondly, target somebody's backhand. Sometimes you'll have two backhands in the center if you have a lefty and a righty playing, if they don't stack and put their two forehands in the center. But aim for whoever's backhand is in the center. So the center and towards somebody's backhand. The second thing on a return to serve, my partner plays a key role in helping me to transition. So As a general rule, the player that's closest to the no volley zone, they're kind of in control. They dominate the net. And the
And
same
hug this
thing is
tee.
true. So what is my partner's job when I'm back here returning a serve? One thing, they should be kind of hugging the tee. They also should be helping me call my lines. And if I don't get quite as good of a return as I can, and I'm trying to transition, if that ball's coming within a foot or two of the tee,
I can take
that's
that.
with her forehand, that's her responsibility, so that I'm not trying to hit a shot while I'm still moving in. And that brings up one last point, is the second my return to serve lands, I need to stop. Okay, if I was pulled wide on my return to serve, and now I'm trying to get, and they hit a ball back to me, I want to stop the second my opponents are making contact, really the second the ball bounces on their side. I want to be ready so that if the ball comes, I can take it out the air. If the ball comes and bounces, I'm ready for it. I don't want to be running through my shot. If I'm running through my shot, that ball just has to be about a foot and a half outside of me. I can't hit a ball while I'm running through it.
So just to bring up a little bit something else, what he's talking about here with the person up here trying to help out. If that person's stuck way back, this is what he's talking about. I can help now. And all I'm trying to do is sort of reset the point, put it kind of nicely, softly. I don't need to wail. I don't need to do anything. It's certainly not a winner, right? At that point, he's struggling. I'm trying to cover. I'm not looking for a winner. All I'm trying to do is buy him time to get up to the line. I can move back in position, and now we're both where we need to be. The other thing I want to bring up about serve and return a serve, when we talk about placement and the positioning, the other thing that we didn't talk about a little bit is a loftier serve. It's a little slower, a little higher serve going in. And again, you're going to evaluate your opponent at this point as well. But I now know if I can do a loftier serve and I know it's going deep, I'm actually going to be in a better position, right? Because I'm keeping them deep, when I get the opportunity now to return the ball, I now have bought myself a little bit of leverage to put the ball where I'd like to help give it. Now on a return or serve, it really works to your advantage because you don't have to wait for that ball to drop another time sort of thing. I'm returning and I'm doing a lofty, but I can take off running. I can get to the net almost immediately if I know I have just done a lofty return. It's going to take a minute to come down. I now have just bought myself a ticket to the no volley line. So
let's do this. We're going to do an exercise now where we're going to get to our courts and we're going to just rotate the serve. We'll go around about 3 times, and we want to see some deep serves. We want to see some deep returner serves. Play the point out, and then we can kind of talk about what went right, what went wrong with some of the points, and mix up your serve and mix up your returner serve. If you've got a good hard flat serve, you've got a top spin serve or spin, and throw in a few lob serves as well. So we can do that, and we'll do some evaluation as we go. Then we'll get back together and we'll talk about some other things from there. Now, once that deep returner serve is, the returning team is now at the no volley zone. Your serving team is behind the baseline. This is the third shot of the match. What do we do? What are our options? for the third shot. We have 3 options. Well, 4 if you want to, 4 if you consider a lob. Yep. You have a third shot drive, which Vicky's going to go into that in just a second. You have a third shot drop, which you're really trying to get a ball from wherever you are into the no volley zone. Your third option is if you've got the returner is not making it in to the no volley zone, you want to hit a shot to their feet. That's your number 1 priority. If they're not in, your shot to their feet. But if they've made it up to the no volley zone, then it's a drive or a drop more than likely. A lob from the baseline it's really a low percentage and kind of ill-advised. So Vicki and I will talk a little bit about the third shot drive, then we'll go into the drop.
So there are certain times when you're going to want to do a drive. Windy conditions is one of them. So here we are, extreme windy conditions. The other thing is you realize that your third shot drop is just not working. The other thing is you may want to try a drive sometimes when you know you have a weaker opponent. You have a real weak backhand on the other side, and you just want to challenge them to see if they can get it back.
All right, so let's talk about third shot drop. That's your other option. So if I can hit a lofty or arced ball that's going to drop right over the net at their feet, my partner and I, we have to work together. The second we see that, that's a green light for us. So when I hit a good third shot drop and my partner can see it, we're advancing. So you've got green light, yellow light, red light. If I hit one that's way too high, red light. We're staying back, and now we're going to try to go to a 5th shot drop or 5th shot drive, but we're going to stay back. If it's a yellow light, like, I think it's a good drive, a drop, but it might be a little high, we do want to try to claim a little bit of the real estate. But when we're in the transition area, you want to be paddles down, because that ball is going to come at you and you don't have time. If a ball is up here and I'm in a transition, I just want to get out the way. So this is where most of my balls are going to come that I want to play. So I want to be ready for that ball. And now I'm trying to hit, again, a drop shot from here so we can continue to neutralize the playing field and get us all up to the no volley zone.
Just like I told you with the serve, a bucket of balls and third shot drop, third shot drop.
And use your legs too.
It's muscle memory.
Use your legs.
It is muscle memory.
Okay, and the last thing, so we had 3 shots. So we've got the third shot drive, third shot drop, and if the returner server is not getting into the no volley zone, he's not coming up, or she coming up to meet their partner, and they're where this gentleman's standing
Stuck
here.
in the transition.
Either because they just didn't, or the serve took the momentum back, and now they're trying to regain their momentum. My third shot is to his feet, and I'm coming in behind it. Now, guess what? We're ready. He's stuck there, and we're now controlling the rally at this point.
Number 1 boo-boo is I serve the ball and I do this, and I'm stuck right here. Do not get yourself stuck here. It will come to your feet. You have an experienced player on the other side. Stay back. Stay back.
All right, so let's do an exercise now. We'll go back to our courts. What we want is we want 2 people at the no volley zone and 2 people back, and we're going to play about 10 balls, and the 2 people that are back, you feed them deep. Your goal is to keep us deep, and our goal is the second we hit a third shot drop, yell green, and we want to advance in. Okay, so our goal is to have all 4 of us at the no volley zone and play out the point.
Right.
So let's try that, and after we do about 10 on one side, we'll switch
to the
roles.
other side, and then they do 10.
Just a couple of the notes, in this game, play to your strength. Whatever your strength is, play to that and play to your opponent's weaknesses. Any questions for us?
Yes. Anybody or anything you? No. You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's our pleasure to meet you guys and to come hang out.
I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Go Pickleball, and you will take the time to subscribe to our channel. See you all the next time.